Hi, welcome to my channel. In today's class, we're going to discuss about the topic that is arrays. What do you mean by array? An array is nothing but what it is a data structure which is used to store multiple values of similar data type using a single variable. First thing that is array is what? Data structure. What do you mean by data structure? Data structure is nothing but what? Way of organizing the data in a computer so that we're going to use the data in efficient manner, right? That is what data structure. An array, it is one kind of what? Data structure which is used to store multiple values of similar data type, right? Of the same data type we're going to use. So we're going to store multiple values of the same data type using what? Single variable, that is what? Arrays. Array, basically we're going to classify it into two types. One is what? Single dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. In this class, we're going to concentrate on multi-dimensional array. Before going to multi-dimensional array, we're going to know about what do we mean by single dimensional array. So single dimensional array means what? Array variable, it going to uses the single subscript or single pair of the square bracket. For example, here only in this example only one subscript I used here. Okay, in that subscript I specify the size of the water array, right? So integer, now usn. Okay, here I am specifying the size so that this is the variable, usn is the variable. Okay, this in the subscript I am specifying the size. Totally it going to take the 10 usn, 10 university seat numbers it going to take. Now for that 10 university seat number, it uses the same data type, that is what? Integer. That's why array is a what? Data structure which is used to store the multiple values of same data type. Now we're going to see the initialization, how we're going to initialize the single dimensional array, right? For this, this is the syntax. First, I am going to write the data type, then space, then variable name, it is the name given to the memory location. Then within the single subscript, I am going to specifying the size of the array. It's going to be assigned by the what? List of the values. This is how we're going to initialize the single dimensional array. For example, here I am giving data type, it is what? Integer, and variable name, that is what? N, and within the subscript I am going to specifying the size, that is 5, and for this it's going to be assigning the list of the values. List of the values I am assigning by use of what? Flower brackets, 10 and 20. Here there are only the two elements it is taking. What about remaining the values? Default that values it is assigned to 0. So this is how you're going to initialize the single dimension array. Here you initialize only the what? Partial elements, right? So this is what? Partial array initialization. Only I initialize the two values. What about remaining three values? Okay, it's going to default, it's going to initialize the value to 0. This is with respect to single dimensional array basic concepts. Now in this class we mainly concentrating on multi-dimensional arrays. So as the name indicates, single dimension means what? Single subscript. Multi-dimensional means what? Two or more dimensions, two or more subscripts are there. So here see here, totally in this example there are the three dimensions. Okay, so in all the three dimensions I am specifying the size. In the first dimension I am specifying the value 10, in the second dimension I am specifying the value 5, and the third dimension I am specifying the value 20. So up to the 20 elements it's going to take with respect to third dimensions. So here also for all it is the collection of all the values of the same data type, that is what? Integer. Here I am going to give the variable name, that is a. Next thing is what? Two dimensional arrays. So multi-dimension means what? Two or more dimensions array with respect to two-dimensional array with the two pair of the square brackets, array with two pair of square brackets. So this is the two square brackets. In this square brackets I am specifying the size. So this is the variable name and the what data type, that is what integer. So here we're going to see how we're going to declare the two-dimensional array and how we going to initialize the two-dimensional array. So basically this two-dimensional array we're going to see this thing in matrices. So this is the syntax of declaring the two-dimensional array. First thing is what data type space array name, then in the first dimension I am specifying the, that is what, a row size of the size, that is what row size, and in the second dimension I am going to specify, that is number of columns. First dimension number of rows, and in the second dimension I am specifying number of columns. This is the example. See here, data type here I took, that is what integer, and array name is what a. In the first dimension I am specifying the size, that is 3. In the second dimension I am specifying the size 5. So it clearly indicate 3 rows and the 5 columns. So this is what declaration of two-dimensional arrays. Then how we going to initialize the what a two-dimensional array? This is the syntax for initializing the two-dimensional array. Already I said this two-dimensional array we're going to use in what matrices, right? Now data type space array name, then row specifies number of rows and column specifies number of columns. So here also same as what single dimensional array, here I am going to list the values with the use of, by the use of what, flower brackets. Here also same thing, I am going to initialize all the values by the use of what, flower brackets. Lastly ended with semicolon, right? So first row element, whatever the first row I am inserting, okay, that first row values again I am going to be specifying by the what, by the use of flower brackets. I am going to write the first values by use of what, flower brackets. This is v value, 0th row and the first column, okay, value, another value, 0th row, second column, up to it going to go like this. Then another last value, that is what, 0th row and the nth column, right? Okay, if I want to move to the next row, you're going to give what, comma here, then another remaining values of second row you're going to write in under flower bracket, that is first row, first column, first row, second column. Since I am starting with 0, I am going to call this one as first row, first column, first row, second column, like that. This one will go, then first row, nth column, okay. So you're going to write like this up to m rows. This is the last row, first column, last row, second column, last row, nth column. So likewise you're going to initialize the two-dimensional array by the use of what, flower brackets. For each row also you're going to use the flower brackets. Then this is the example. Data type, here I am going to give integer, then array name, that is what, table, row 2, column size is what, 3. So it clearly specifies 2 rows and the 3 columns. Likewise you're going to initialize the array, that is what, 2 rows. This is the first row, first column, first row, second column, first row, third column, second row, first column, second row, second column, second row, third column. For all the rows and columns you're going to insert the values. This is what initialization of two-dimensional arrays. Next we're going to see some points you need to remember while initializing the what, two-dimensional arrays. First point is what, when the array is completely initialized with the values, explicitly we did not specify the size of the first dimension. Please remember this thing, whenever the array is completely initialized the values, so explicitly we need not to specify the size of the first dimension. If all the values are initializing, you need not to specify the first dimension, okay. So this is the example, this one is the example for first point. Integer, data type, variable name, that is what, table. In the first dimension I am not specifying any size here, but in the second dimension I am specifying the size, that is what 3. So it clearly indicate what 3 columns. It is taking what 3 columns. See here, whatever the values I am initializing, I am going to write in terms of what flower brackets. Okay, in here 3 columns are there, right? 3 columns, but here rows I am not specifying, so you can insert any number of rows. 0 0 0 1 1 1, first row first column, first row second column, first row third column, second row first column, second row second column, second row third column. So if you are initializing with all the value, you need not to specify the size with respect to the first dimension. What second point it going to say is, if the values are missing in an initialization, if the values are missing in an initialization, that is, if the array is partially initialized, they are automatically set to 0. Already I said with respect to single dimension array, that is what partial array initialization, if the array is initialized partially, remaining values automatically set to 0. This is the best example for this one. Same thing, data type, variable name, 2 rows 3 columns. Here I clearly mentioning 2 rows and 3 columns, but here 2 rows are there. But what about here? Okay, only with respect to first row, first column is only 2 columns is there. Okay, there is no another third column. But with respect to second row, only 1 column is there, right? What about remaining values? Remaining values automatically set to 0. So this point also you need to remember. Then if all the elements are initialized to 0, if you want to initialize all the matrix elements are to 0, you're going to use the shortcut method like this. So first thing is what data type, and another one is what variable name. Here I clearly mentioning variable name is what m, and dimension, that is what 3 with respect to first dimension, and 5, that is the second dimension. 3 rows 5 columns. See here, only with respect to 3 rows I am initializing the value 0 0 0. What about columns? Automatically to set it to 0, right? And another point, it says while initializing, one must make ensure that number of the element must be always less than or equal to size of the each dimension. Whatever the size you are specifying in the dimension in the subscript, so whatever the values you are initializing in the flower bracket, it is less when compared to this dimension. It should not exceed the size, right? So suppose here I clearly mentioning, I said I mentioning the what 4, right? Means what 4 rows and the 3 columns. But here in the first row, totally 4 columns are there, but here only 3 columns are allowed. What about 4 columns? So while compiling, it leads to what? It's going to show the compilation error message, because here 4 columns, it exceeded the size of the what dimension. So these are the points you need to remember while initializing the what 2-dimension arrays. Then next thing, that is what reading and the writing the 2-dimension array. How you going to read the 2-dimension array, and how you going to print whatever the elements you read in the matrices. Then you're going to print that elements. How you going to read the matrix element, how you going to print the matrix element. Now you're going to see that thing here. Elements of the matrix can be accessed in 2 different ways. One is what row major order, and another one is what column major order. Either you can consider row as reference, that is what row major order, and either you can consider column as reference, that is what column major order. First thing, we're going to see how we're going to read the 2-dimensional arrays in the row major order. Here I am considering to read the 2-dimensional array by considering what row major order. I am considering reference with respect to rows. So reference with respect to row means what? Here I am using the 2 for loop. Okay, because first for loop it clearly specifies for row, and second for loop that is clearly specifies for column. Okay, so here first thing, I am initializing the row value to 0. I am checking the condition. If the row value it is less than the maximum rows, then you can proceed to the second for loop. Now you are initializing the column value to 0. Then column it is less than the number of the column, that is what maximum columns. then you can proceed to the next condition, that is you are reading. Scanf, it is refers to what? Reading. Okay, here you are reading the integer value percentage d, then to the ampersand, to the address of this variable a, that is what row value here 0 and the column value 0, ampersand of a of 0 0 you're going to read, that is the first row first column you are reading. Okay, then you keep on incrementing the column. Suppose if until this condition fails, you are incrementing the column values, that is what first row first column, first row second column, first row third column, like that. After it reaches the maximum column, then this condition fails, it goes to the another, it is incrementing the row. Since this one is what row plus plus, then it is incrementing to the second row, then it is starting from the column, it is what 0, right? Second row first column, second row second column, second row third column, like that. Likewise, you're going to read the two-dimensional array. Okay, for example, here I will show one tracing part. First thing is what? Assume m is equal to 2 and the value n is equal to 2. Here number of rows is what? 2 and the number of column is what? 2. Now row I am initializing to 0 because this is the row value. Here I am initializing to 0, right? Now you are checking the value, that is what row value 0 0 less than what m value, that is what 0 less than 2 condition is what? True. Now it enters into what? Another for loop, this one. Now you are initializing the column value to 0, that is one, this one. Then you are checking the condition 0 less than n value, n value is what here? 2. Okay, so here second for loop condition is also 2, true. It going to read the first value, that is what? Ampersand of a of row value is 0 and the column value is 0, right? Now ampersand of a of 0 0, you are assume you are reading the value 1. Now that value is assigned to ampersand of a of 0 0. To this address this value is assigned. Now what control goes to where? Now here column plus plus control goes to here. Okay, column it going to be incremented by 1 1 less than n value. N value is what here? That is true. Now 1 less than 2 condition is true. Now it enters into this for loop. Now you are reading the another value is what? 2, that is what? Ampersand of a of 0. I value is not changed, only j value it is changing. So for this one a of 0 1 is what? 2 here. Now control goes to where? Here column plus plus. Now column it is incremented by 2 less than 2 condition is false. Now control goes to where? First for loop, row value it is incremented by what? Again it is what? 1. Okay, 1 less than 2. Now you are checking the condition. Now column value is what? 0 0 less than 2 condition is true. You are reading the another value. Assume the number you are reading, that is what? 3. A of 1 0, I value is what? 1, then j value is what? 0 here. For this you are reading the value 3. Now control goes to where? Here this one column. Now column is incremented by 1 1 less than 2 condition is true. You are reading the another value. Okay, column is 1 1 less than 2 condition is true. You are reading the another value. You are assume you are reading the value 4, ampersand of a of 1 1, that value is what? 4. Now column is what? Here again it's going to be incremented by 2. Okay, 2 less than 2 condition is what? False. Now it control goes to here, row it going to be incremented by 1. Now row value is what? 2 less than 2 condition it going to be false. It come out from the for loop. Okay, so likewise it going to works here. It going to read the two-dimensional array elements, that is what? Matrix elements. This is for reading the two-dimensional array element with respect to row as reference. Sir, what about column major adder? If you are taking column as reference, first you're going to use in the first for loop, you are specifying the column. Okay, so for column is assigned to 0, column less than n, column plus plus, then you are specifying row as row in the second for loop, row is equal to 0, row less than m, row plus plus. But here if you are taking row as reference, I am writing what? Row with respect to first for loop. Suppose if you are writing column as reference, then you going to write the column in the first for loop. That is what? Column is equal to 0, column less than n, column plus plus. Then you can write here in the second for loop row. This is the what row major order and the column major order. Next, that is what writing the two-dimensional array in the row major order. Here also same to same thing. How you are reading the two-dimensional array, same way you're going to print the two-dimensional array. So same to same thing, but instead of scanf you're going to write the what printf. Okay, percentage d here you're going to write. Then next thing is what, instead of ampersand you're going to write a of row column. So here percentage d, either you can give space, okay, or slash d. Okay, it clearly specifies what it's going to give space between the two elements, two matrix element. And if you want to move to the next row, okay, if you want to move to the next row, okay, so you're going to use what another thing, that is what printf slash n. Okay, it enters into the next. If you want to give, if you want to print another row in the next line, so you're going to use this one slash n. So first it is in first row elements, it's going to print first row first column, first row second column, like that. If you want to move to the next row, you're going to give another next line, that is what slash n. Then it's going to print in the next line second row first column, second row second column, like that. This is with respect to how you're going to print the two-dimensional array by taking row as a reference. So here we're going to see how it works here, how we're going to read the two-dimensional array, and how we're going to print the two-dimensional array by taking by considering the row as a reference. Here I am using Fedora. Okay, in that you can take any version. Okay, so password it is asking, unlock. Now okay, so that now what's my duty, what's now, so this is the already code I written. So m, it specifies what number of rows, n specifies number of columns, and I and j variables I am using for what, that is I specifies what number, that is for incrementing the rows, j specifies what for incrementing the columns. Next, a of 10 10, that is what matrix I require. Okay, here I am specifying 10 rows and the 10 columns. So first it is asking number of rows. Next, you are reading the m value. It is asking number of columns. You are reading the n value. Now you're going to enter the matrix element. So this is the code what I explained for reading the what two-dimensional array. That is for I is equal to 0. I specifies, I take as what reference for row, j for incrementing the column. It is starting from 0, I less than m, I plus plus. Then for j equal to 0, j less than n, j plus plus. Now you are reading the what, that is the matrix elements. Now if you want to print whatever the element you read for the matrix, same thing if you want to print, you're going to use what, this one. Okay, that is what second thing, printf entered matrix elements are. Okay, so so now we're going to see output. That is what, first I am going to save the program, then I will close this thing. Okay, now I will compile cc space 1a.c, yes, no error. Then I will run the program dot slash a dot out. Okay, it is asking number of rows, 2 rows, and it is now it is asking enter the number of column, that is what, 2. Enter the matrix element 1 2 3 4. Yes, whatever the matrix element you read, same thing it is printing 1 2 3 4. Okay, so this is how you're going to read the matrix element and how you're going to print the matrix element. In the next class we're going to see the what are the matrix operations. That is first thing, addition and the subtraction of the two matrices, transpose of the matrix, trace of the matrix. Then trace of the matrix is nothing but what, how we going to print, that is what, how we going to calculate some of the diagonal elements. And lastly, that is what matrix multiplication. In next class we're going to learn in detail with respect to all the programs. Okay, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.